Hey guys, this is the Sports Kid. It's Sunday, May 4th, 2025, and thanks for tuning in to this week's podcast. This show was a great one, as I was joined by our friend Mike Muscat. We talked all things Detroit Tigers, touched on the Pistons playoff run, and the upcoming Lions season. I'm rolling out a new episode every week, so be sure to follow and subscribe so that you don't miss them. Thanks again, and enjoy the show.
This one is gonna fly! A three-run home run! Kerry Carpenter!
They give it to Jameer. Big hole. There he goes down to the 20-yard line. Angling to the 15. Gone, baby! 5! End zone! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Cade to the basket. Hooks on the run. He hits it. Pistons are back up.
Pass over the line. Here's Kane on a change. He scores! He caught the Flyers changing. Patrick Kane with a shot inside the left goal post.
It's Williams in motion. Low snap. Melrose stopped! Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory.
Here we go. This is the Sports Kid Podcast. Here is your host, the one and only Sports Kid.
What is that?
There we go. We had some miscues on the keyboard here.
Yeah, that was...
Do you want the voice changer?
Nope.
What's up, Emery?
It's my mom's birthday. It's Mom's birthday.
It's Mom's birthday today. Make sure you're right in the mic.
Oh, yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm the Sports Kid, and this is my dad, and we're here to bring you the latest on Detroit sports and more.
That's right. We have a good show today. We have a special guest coming up. I won't give all the exciting news away. I'll let you share that in a moment. But yeah, good show. Not any really big news, I don't think, just yet. We got some things coming up, I think, later this month, potentially, with our friends at JMC Sports. We bought into a couple
Whatnot auctions.
Couple whatnot auctions the other day. We didn't really hit anything big, did we? Some Bo Nix rookies.
There was like a Brian Thomas Jr. rated rookie Pulsar or something
Purple
like that.
Pulsar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that looking forward to that. So stay tuned with JMC Sports. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, make sure to check them out. They got some cool stuff. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. If you are listening right now, do want to encourage you to subscribe, follow on all the different platforms if you can or haven't already. Trying to boost up our followers on YouTube. I think we're at 44 subscribers. Like to try to get to 100 over there. And then on Facebook, like to get a few more people there. And then on Spotify and the other ones as well. If you guys listen to the different podcast outlets, please subscribe there. We'd appreciate it. Other than that, I think that's kind of it right now, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got a great show for you today. We've got a special guest, Mike Muscat, and we're going to be talking about the Tigers and the Pistons lost to the Knicks. But first, as always, the recent scores and updates. So the Tigers beat the Angels 13-1, and are doing a great job with the record now being 23-10.
That's awesome.
So sadly, the Pistons lost to the Knicks in Game 6, 116-113. So
Clutch three-pointer coming in there at the end.
yeah, by Brunson.
So the title of this episode is "At Least We Still Have the Tigers."
Yeah. Wait, is that actually the title?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
At least we still, man. I didn't even.
That is the title of today's show because it's. I will say this because there's been times where like Tigers have been struggling early in the season and whatnot, but this
like last year?
Yeah, like last year. I mean, we don't have Red Wings to talk about, unfortunately, but there is still playoff
like
hockey.
Now it's only going to be the Pistons, or not the Pistons, the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk. There's going to be a plethora of news to talk about, right, throughout the summer.
Yeah, but for the recent scores and updates, it's only going to be...
Might have to stretch to, like, the Kentucky Derby.
I don't even know who won.
Sovereign. A horse called Sovereign won.
Oh, wait, is that horse's actual name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I read an article on Fox Sports, and it said Sovereign, and I was like, what is that meaning? I was like...
They always have weird names on these horses, but yeah, so there'll be plenty of sports to talk about. Plus other people have asked, like, are we going to spread it out to, I mean, it is Detroit Sports and More. So our friend Mike that's on here, a big chess player. He's one of the best chess players I know. So I don't know if chess is a sport. We could talk about chess, but there's hunting and fishing. We'll probably talk about those things.
Yeah.
Right? So
Eventually.
But there's plenty to talk about, especially right now when you got the Detroit Tigers historically playing historically well. How about that?
Yeah, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
But I say we bring on our special guest.
Yeah, should we give him a little intro, Mike? We'll get into
a drum roll.
Yeah, we'll do a drum roll to bring on Mike. I'll switch the voice effects over, give him the full deal. But yeah, Mike's a friend of mine. Met him a few years ago. Become a pretty close friend of mine. I was privileged to officiate his wedding. So him and I are pretty good buddies, and the dude loves sports. He's a big sports dude and knows stuff, and think he's going to bring in some Tigers knowledge.
Mm.
So he might ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you studied up?
I just genuinely know things.
You just generally know things? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do a little drum roll thing. Real quick before we do that, we do have some chats. People in the chat.
I don't think that we can see every comment.
I don't know. Maybe not. But we do have Mel Stevens from Tallahassee on the road. She said, "Happy birthday, Janetta."
Where's US 27?
I don't know where we're at on US 27 she is. We've got my mother. We've got Sherman. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you. So yeah, let me flip some things around here. We're going to give the drum roll effect, and we will bring Mr. Mike into the studio. Here we go.
Now, joining the show, Mr. Mike Muscat.
Man, what an intro. Oh man.
What is up?
Wow. I gotta get one of those for the house. That way anytime my wife needs my attention, she just throw that on the screen there. Yeah.
The voice changer, the drum roll, everything. We are well.
Tigers. Woo, man. I'm so excited that I get to come on and talk with you guys, especially after the game today. So I'm not going to take the thunder away. I'm excited to get chomping on some Tigers talk, but what a great game today.
Yeah, definitely.
What was the score again?
13-1.
They've done, how many home runs was there? Do you know?
I don't know exactly today. I know I remember their Arby's used to do something where if you get 3 homers, they get free curly fries. So I think we're pretty much running them out of curly fries. But no, there was at least 3 or 4. I know Colt Keith went yard again. Kerry Carpenter, our boy, he went yard again. And I mean, not only just going yard, but I mean, hitting the ball hard. You know, Javi Baez, we haven't even talked about him yet and his resurgence and how crazy that is. Yeah, it's great. I think they're either first or second right now in the AL in home runs. They're hitting the long ball. They're doing it the right way.
Yeah, it's been exciting to watch. Okay, we got a hot comment coming in from my buddy Tom Daly. He said, now it's 3 runs and you get free curly fries. So everybody can go grab those curly fries tomorrow.
Get them. Just 3 runs. Wow, not even home runs anymore. Man, Arby's getting bold.
They're going to have to up the charge.
Need the
pretty quick.
attention.
It's like carryover from the last couple of years where it's like, you know, they've been so bad that they've been able to get away with it. Now they're like, well, we got to adjust this now.
Yeah, they're going to be like, you have to be batting under 200, hit a home run, some parlays out there to get the free prize.
Exactly.
Cool. So, do you want to do a little meet
I
the
got
guest?
some quick little questions about you that we like to call Meet the Guests so that our viewers can get to know you better. So, what is your favorite Detroit sports team, pro or college?
Ooh, it's a great question. Well, I got to go with the Lions. I mean, they're just them gritty Lions. Definitely probably up there. But I mean, with these Tigers, the way they've been playing, you know, it's tough. You know, ask me in September, definitely Lions. Asking me now in early May, oh, I don't know. Really, the Wings too. I mean, I know I'm kind of naming them all, so like that's kind of cheating. But just the history, not lately, but the history there has been great. So I would say maybe Lions, and then we'll go Tigers and Red Wings there at number 2 tied, and then from a college perspective, it's go blue all day. So
That's the right answer.
Yeah, you got that one right. Good job.
Correct. 100% so far. Who's your favorite player of all time?
On any sport, any team at all?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Favorite player of all time. You know, I really did like Miguel Cabrera. I would say he's up there. Just watching that team, like '06 era, like that was just so awesome and so fun. And he was just kind of a big cornerstone of that. So I would probably put him up there. Also, love my boy Jahmyr Gibbs. He's been great, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, both of those guys, I would say, definitely have a running as well. Got the St. Brown jersey, so I guess you know what, St. Brown. Final answer on that one. Let's go with that for now.
All right.
There's so many to choose from. It's hard to just choose one.
So, what's your favorite Detroit sports memory? And it doesn't mean that it had to be at a game that you've seen. It's like a memory that's happened.
Okay.
Yeah, because the next question is, what's the best event you've ever attended? So this is just memory.
Well, okay, so this might kind of bleed through a little bit, but I was at the ALCS Game 4. I think it was Game 4, Game 5. I don't know. When we played the Yankees back in, I think it was like 08, 09, like whenever, I think it might have been 12, actually, now that I think about it, when we went to the World Series then. And I got to see the, the last out there. It was really cool to see. Just everyone on their feet, you know, one more out, and we're going to the World Series, and just to see that ball. I don't even remember who caught it. I think it was like Marcus Thames or something like that, if you even remember that name. And just out and everyone just going crazy World Series. So I would say that's probably one of my best sports memories. Also, staying on the team of baseball, I don't know if you guys remember when Maglio Ordonez hit that home run, walk-off home run against the A's back in 2006. And that was just like one of those, like, you just remembered where you were at that time. So that was definitely up there as well.
Yeah, where were you when Maglio Ordonez hit the walk-off? Yeah, I mean, everybody knows.
Yep, I was in my. Yep, everyone knows. I was in my buddy's basement, and he jumped on my shoulders, and we were running around. I just won't never forget that.
I'm pretty sure we were in line for a haunted house when that it might
Sounds
have been,
about right.
Yeah, Erebus or something, because it was like October, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I saw that video again today, scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or something, of course.
Classic.
Yep, classic. Have to watch it.
And then, what's your favorite sport to play? Like now
Well,
or when you're a kid?
Did we carry over the same question? Did you carry over both
I kind of
questions?
answered it a little bit.
That's fine, unless you have another memory or favorite event.
Yeah, I mean, I've also have personal sports memories, right? So like just in me playing, I'm trying to think of like when my high school football team, we made it all the way to state finals. That was a crazy memory playing out on Ford Field. That was a good time. I have like some hockey memories back when I was a kid, Joe Dumars roller hockey back in the day. Some good memories there as well. So kind of across the board. But yeah.
Cool. Well, that bleeds into the next question. Segues right over.
I did that. It's like
That is the last
I know what
question.
I'm doing here.
Yeah. So what?
Oh well,
which is
in
your
terms of
favorite
playing.
sport to play? Because Mike's gotten a little older now. He's playing a couple different sports, I think.
I'm a dad now. Yeah. No, I would say favorite sport to play. I love playing baseball. So like softball, we actually got our first softball game tomorrow night. That'll be a good time. Always love that. Like playing golf too. I am not good at it one bit, but it's fun to get out there and hang out with the boys for a couple hours. So probably softball and golf.
Where are you playing softball at?
I play through the church through Journey, and so we're I think we have 4 fields throughout Clarkston. It's like the Inner Lakes something or another men's softball thing. So yeah, it runs all the way till August, which is awesome. It's a super long season, and it's a good time.
Sweet.
Yeah, I wish our baseball season ran that long, but then you would have no summer.
I love it.
Emery just started up playing baseball. Well, his game started last week, so.
Yeah.
You guys had a good team last year, didn't you?
Yeah, we were 16-0, and then we lost in the championship.
Jeez. Okay.
Our
Look
best.
out.
Our
Who do
best.
you put?
Sorry, our best win was 24-0.
Ooh, so that's like a Tiger score.
Yeah, we were the
Yeah.
Tigers actually last year too.
No, even better. Look at that. So you guys are the reason the Tigers went to the playoffs, right? So that's pretty much because of you guys.
I think, you guys helped.
At
carry
one
them.
point, we had thought about like our team would go to a Tigers game, but then we lost the championships.
Yeah. All right. What's your last question there?
That is the last.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Cool.
We did get robbed in the championship.
So yeah, Mike.
Oh, get right. Okay.
Mike is now a golfer and a softball player. What position did you play in softball?
I've definitely been a first base guy most of my life, but because of the aforementioned age that Bobby liked to bring up, even though I'm much younger than him, my shoulder's been bugging me, so kind of stretching it out a little bit hurts. So trying to move on from that this year, thinking about running some. I like playing a little bit of second base, and then I'll pitch from time to time.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Those are like the two. Second base and first are like the only positions I've played like long term. Well, not really even long.
Yeah,
term.
I can't make that throw from third to short. No, it's not. I might be able to get in front of it, but once that ball's thrown, look out. It's gone. So I like the second base, nice short throw. I don't know why I just did a throwing motion there, but you get it.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Or at first, you just don't have to throw it.
Sometimes you got to do the underhand of the pitcher, but yeah, no, you can just run it there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of first base, Torkel, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but man, Torkelson, he has turned into quite the fielder at first base, which I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know a whole lot about him coming up, but I didn't know that was like a card that he had, but apparently it is. The guy can pick him. He's I would say he's just as valuable as a positional player at first base as Big Bad is in the lineup, personally.
Yeah, that moves right into our next segment.
It's like we scripted this.
Yeah, it's like we talked about this before, which we didn't actually.
We didn't. Oh, yeah, seriously.
So what else? Yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, he's been really good this year. I remember last year after school one day, my mom was like doing something with the girls or something, and I was just sitting in the car and I had 97.1 on, and they were talking about he is like the worst first baseman in the entire MLB. They were saying last year about him and how he's just like way better.
Was that his fielding abilities or because of how he was hitting?
No, like fielding abilities, but then he wasn't making up for it in
Right.
batting.
Yeah, he wasn't hitting either, so that kind of was a double negative on him. But yeah, and I like I said, not super familiar with his fielding prowess, so I don't know if he had this reputation of being a good fielder. It sounds like, Emery, to what you're saying, that he didn't. But man, oh man, like to see like him come full circle has just been such a cool thing, and that to me. When stuff like that starts happening, right? We talk about, Torkelson all of a sudden is playing like the number one. I think he was number one, or he's at least a first round draft pick. And then you have guys like Javi Baez going out to center field and playing positions that, I mean, he's always been an infielder, at least to my knowledge, like shortstop kind of guy.
Yeah.
And making the catches that he's making. It's like when all of these things happen to me, when I see that, that means that like this is kind of, it sounds cliche, but this is like a team of destiny, right? Like you see stuff like that happening and you're like, if this wasn't our year, this wouldn't be happening, right? And so when I that's what almost maybe gets me as excited for this team is one, the fact that I see these little tea leaves that make it feel like destiny, but two is their ability to shrug things off. I don't think they've had 3 consecutive losing games in a row. And even when you look at back-to-back losses, they haven't really done that much either. And so the way that they lost last night, turned it around, boom, 13-1 today. Like that to me, if you don't get in slumps in baseball, that is a recipe for success, right? Because there's so many games. And if you can combine the wins together and not combine the losses together, you're looking good. And plus, you look at our division. I mean, really, I think Cleveland's the only one that's really going to give us a fight. And if you look at their run differential right now, it's like negative like 20, 30s in that range, like not good. Where Tigers are like plus 40. I don't know, just kind of throwing that out there, but they're doing really well. So the Cleveland, I think, will kind of even out. I think they're getting kind of lucky a little bit, winning some games that maybe they shouldn't be, or what have you. But I think this is the Tiger division to lose, personally.
Yeah, the Tigers are up. They're plus 63.
Wow, even more than I thought. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Cleveland's minus 23. So
yeah, that's nuts.
Right. And they're what, a game apart in the standings, a game and a half or something. And so so it's crazy that but you know what, Cleveland can have their ball, they can win games that way. I would much rather win the games that we're winning by just pulverizing opponents, and it's been so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is probably the best Tigers team probably in my life.
Yeah,
probably
in the last 11 years.
For sure. Yeah. Because, I think what was it, 2012, the last time they made it to the series? And I mean, I saw the 06 team and the 2012 team, was huge fans of both of those teams, and they both kind of choked it in the World Series. So I've never seen a winner, obviously 84. I'm not that old, Bobby. You might be.
Close was nope.
So it's time. You know what? It's time to bring the World Series championship to Detroit.
And I have a couple of comments in here. The home run
Javi robbed was wild.
Yeah.
No, I haven't even seen it.
Yes.
Actually. I didn't even see it.
And it was so smooth too. Like it was like the way, it wasn't like one of those like, whoa, kind of looked a little awkward, but he got it. Like it was like, you look like the dude's been playing center field since birth. Like and that's what is so awesome about him, is that he's just such like a kind of a cool cat out there. And to watch that go from, the shortstop days to now out in center field. I mean, because I remember when the season started, one of the big question marks I had was no Parker Meadows. And I mean, Parker Meadows all through last year and at the end of the year, especially, Gold Glover out there. And so when I found out, he's got that weird injury with like, I don't even know what it is, but it's like he doesn't have like feeling, or it's a weird thing that you don't see a lot. But when I found out that he was gone, they were talking about moving Riley Green to center, and I'm like, I don't know, but the way Javi's just come in and taken that spot over, like I said, stuff like this happens when it's your year, right?
Yeah.
Like that, it's just, you see it all the time.
And back to what you're saying about like Spencer Torkelson, and you don't really know like if he was like had a good reputation, kinda. He's always been like since he was drafted, because he's the number 1 overall pick. He had been like the fan favorite, kinda, but he's never really been like,
he hasn't lived up to it.
Yeah, he's never really been like the best, but he
Well, they sent him down last year, and a lot of
Yeah.
people, I mean, we're into the sports card stuff, right? And so collecting, you remember, was like, when did he get drafted?
Like
3 years ago?
21
4
or
years
20.
ago?
20.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, I think.
No, I don't know. It was 20, was it?
It was 20.
Only we had something that could tell us.
Yeah, I mean, if only I had the internet in front of my face here. I pulled it up here.
2020.
You were right. Okay. The sports kid is always right. Never question him.
That's right. That's right. It's a show.
So, but when because I remember vividly going into the sports card store with you here in Lapeer, remember?
Yeah.
And everybody was chasing the Torque.
Yeah.
They wanted his rookie card. We did not get one,
It might
but
have been like 21 that we had like gone in there.
maybe.
Because like that would have been like when we moved here.
Well, we moved here in 20. The fall of 20.
I guess we did.
But anyway, his card, I mean, was super hot back then. Everybody was chasing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was supposed to be the best, and I mean, his stock
always,
value just dropped.
Definitely. He's always been like, everyone's always liked him kind of thing, but he's never really been like a star first baseman ever.
And when you're the number one overall pick, that's what they draft you to be, right? So I mean, some of that is a little unfair that like he had this like huge reputation that he had to live up to. But when you go number one overall, when you have a last name like Torkelson, like come on, it's just a fun name to say. People are not going to forget that. And and he wasn't. Yeah, exactly. Torque bomb. There's so much. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. The amount of times I've been sitting with my newborn daughter, be like Torque bomb, and she just looks at me like, what are you talking about? No, yeah, exactly. And I remember the big thing on Sports Talk again. I wasn't like super into the Tiger, like I was, but like I was kind of like in a distance at the beginning of the year because it's spring. There's a lot of other sports going on. Football's just winding down, the whole thing. And the two things that you heard nonstop on 97.1 was Torkelson and this like simulation and how he's getting this new whatever going on,
groove,
this whole new way to hit and everything like that. Exactly, yeah. And then Baez. Those are the two things you heard of, and how crazy that it's flipped. And really the amazing thing out of all of this, like you just take like the 50,000 foot view, is that if you would have told me in the beginning of the season about a month ago, hey, we're going to be first place in the Central, a month in, we're going to be run differential, whatever you're saying. But like the starting pitching isn't what's leading off this conversation, I would have called you crazy. I mean, this team has always been built around their starting pitching. Scooble and the gang, right? Like but that, I mean, the starting pitching has been good, but that hasn't been like what the talk of the town is. I mean, 13 runs in a game. I mean, clearly your offense is doing something right. The fielding, again, we talk about Baez. We talk about who's the new third baseman they got? Not new, but the rookie.
Sweeney?
June or something like
Young.
that.
Jace Young, that guy.
Young. Yeah, it looks like June. It's spelled weird. Yeah, Young, him. He's been playing lights out from a fielding perspective. Now his average is still a little bit to be desired, but they said he's got some pop. So like once he kind of gets around and finds that, Colt Keith, man, he started super cold in this last like 3 or 4 days. Has been knocking the cover off the ball. Another homer for him again today. So it's crazy that we're seeing all of this coming from things, from areas we didn't expect. And that's kind of, I think, the greatest thing about it is that like we still got, like I said, I mentioned Parker Meadows, still not back. Matt Vierling, he's another good utility player that hasn't been, there. And I think there's exactly. Yeah. It's Perez. He had that big hit in the playoffs last year. Yeah. So like, there's so many pieces that are still like kind of working their way in. And it's like, man, if we can plug some of these in, like another example really quick. Rogers goes down, the catcher, love him. He goes down. You're kind of like, oh, I don't know. All of a sudden the Dylan Bingler guy comes up and he's throwing people out and has the best arm in the league. And then his backup, Nito, this journeyman catcher who is all of a sudden like now like hitting for average and above. And it's, again, it all adds up to what I was saying. Like when all these things are happening, you can't help but think like, man, this is our year. Maybe we don't win it all. I'm not going to make that hot take right here, right now. But like, I think that the division is ours, and I think we're looking good for October. I really do.
Got a couple questions here in the chat. So my buddy Mark Blaine says, this is a good question. Do you think the Baez turnaround will be short-lived or here to stay?
Go ahead, Emery. Take it. What do you think?
I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's doing really good in center, but like, if you move him back to shortstop, will he be, like, is he going to be playing like last year Baez, or I don't know.
I think you keep him in center if that's where he's good.
If you keep him in center as long as you can, kind of thing.
And here's the thing, like, you want to try to give guys benefit of the doubt to some extent, right? Like, he had, we looked at this a little while ago. Like,
his batting average is .309.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting great.
Yeah.
I mean,
awesome. This
is what we brought him over for. He just, whatever reason, last few years hasn't been that good. So
every year he's played in Detroit.
I know. But even with the Cubs, I think we looked into this, and like, he had like one decent season there.
Well, there was like, but he was always really
reliable
at shortstop.
Yeah.
And then like towards the end of his like career at the Cubs, you would see like he would just swing at everything and miss, and then he would just like not be the same Baez kind of thing.
And that is why to answer that question, that's why I think it's different, because he at the plate, he's taking his take rate is up so much. He's having much more mature at bats, and they're not always going to equal hits, but when you're up there, you're being selective. It gives you confidence, right? Like, you're not up there just trying to swing the bat, like trying to get off this slump, that slump. And that's not to say that he won't maybe crawl back. I don't think he's going to be a 300 hitter all season. I don't. I mean, the league average is like 250 this year. Like, the league average is way down. So I don't think he's going to be a 300 throughout the entire year, but I think he's going to be an extremely valuable piece. Like I said, if we do get Parker Meadows back, which you hope so, but you just don't know, I think having Baez as like that additional kind of platoon guy is great. I mean, think about like, even, between, you got the corners with Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter, right? Either of those guys can DH, and you could throw Baez in there. I think Baez might be a little tad better of a fielder than both of those guys. So, like, the versatility it gives the team alone is just so good. And unfortunately, Justin Henry Malloy hasn't really worked out, I think, as well as they wanted. And so, like, with that happening, I think it's giving Baez a few more opportunities where maybe Malloy would have been the guy in certain situations. Now he's not. But I think with his track record and his career, which, yes, has had some bumps and bruises, but overall has been very successful, mainly speaking, I do think that this turnaround is more of the permanent variety. I really do. And I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like just this team in general, like the feel. And it's easy to get on here after a 13-1 victory, right? And be just like,
they're the best
drinking
ever.
The Tigers Kool-Aid. Yeah, exactly. So maybe a little bit of that's seeping in. I'm not going to deny that, but
it's hard to deny it though.
Different.
I mean, they're fun to watch, and we haven't had last year was fun. I mean, we went to a couple games.
Yeah.
We went to one game, I think, the year before, a couple games last year, went to that playoff game.
We went to I can't think. Miguel Cabrera's game where he hit his last home run. We were at that game.
That's cool.
And then last season, we went to the game where they played the Dodgers, because I like Shohei Ohtani. And then we also went to the first home game against Cleveland last year.
Playoffs.
Which was the game that they won.
Yeah. So this year, and we're going to go to a few games this year too, but it's fun to go. I mean, in that stretch of time where they weren't that great, like, it's still fun to get down there. Like, you're going to the baseball game, but you're not really expecting them to win. You kind of want them to. If they don't, it's not that big a deal.
And honestly, when the Tigers are good, it's so much fun because it's during the summer when there's not a whole lot of other things going on. Like, I sometimes will watch golf, but like, you watch stuff like that, it's like, it's hard to really get attached to a certain person. Like, I like Scotty Scheffler, but like, hey, good job, Scotty. Like, it's just not, it's not the same. But when it's your hometown team,
not as hype, kind of
it's
thing.
like exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like, being summer is great. Being the Tigers is great because it's like, they're on almost every night or every day at least, right? So it's just like every night you're like, oh, who are they playing tonight? Unfortunately, they don't play tomorrow. So, but it's really great to have them be so good and just be this constant, nightly entertainment source that we've just been sorely missing in this city for the last decade.
Yeah, read that last comment, Emery, that came.
So, Tom said Javi also had hip surgery, so I believe he was a bit injured last season, but I could be wrong. He is correct.
Yeah, so I pulled that up.
He did have...
Do you want to read that? Do you know how to say those words?
Yes.
You guys got some smart viewers. That's a great point.
Tom Daly, this guy, he knows his stuff too. He's always on top of the stuff.
Javier Baez underwent season-ending
Arthroscopic
hip surgery on his right hip in early September. Like that entire thing.
Well, so just I'm going to jump down.
highlights.
So like what it said here is that he had been dealing with lingering back and hip issues, which is what led to that surgery. So
Yeah, but
that's probably why, again, that he had not been performing that well the last few years.
Sure.
But it's crazy to think like this guy went season-ending hip surgery early September. Right. And remember, that's actually when the Tigers started getting good again. I remember that.
Yeah. It was like right when they started taking off.
Yeah. And I didn't know this. I just assumed it was like some other issue, whatever. But for him to be back after having that hip surgery, and now he's performing well. I mean, they put some bionic hip in there, maybe switched out his shoulder or something too. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Tom. Tom just said, this is cool, guys. Try to tune in more. Yeah, go Tigers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Tom, read the other comment that he put up, this one, because this is true too.
Who was he talking about? Oh, that's the team. Okay. He said, pretty sure we are leading the American League in ERA as well, so it's been all good so far.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a bit too.
That is true.
We've got, I don't know why I'm looking at the stats on this Tigers website, and it kind of is screwing up a little bit, but we had like 4 sub 2 or sub 3 ERA players.
Yeah. How come Flaherty's number?
3.
Flaherty has not been good so far.
Well, he's still fine.
He's had some unfortunate starts. I would say when you look at the starters, obviously Scooble's going to Scooble. He's your number one guy. Reese Olson, he pitched today. He's been lights out. He's been doing really well.
They call him the kid.
Yeah, he looks younger than you. I mean, honestly, like he really does.
It's weird. He's like
we saw him in person down there last year after the game, and he looks
it's weird seeing him drive a big old truck. It's so weird.
Does he have his driver's license?
Yeah, right. No, but yeah, he's been great. Pure League. Flaherty's been a little spotty. I for whatever reason, every time I feel like he pitches, he just runs into a little bad luck. Like yesterday, with the air out in the outfield, or the two, I think it was like Kerry Carpenter and it might have been Baez. I'm not sure. They kind of ran into each other, and that let a run in. It's just kind of an unforced, unlucky thing. But Flaherty's stuff has looked pretty crisp. I will say, for the most part, he's looked pretty good. Casey Mize has been another one. He's been really great to watch and kind of see him kind of come up and because I remember when we drafted him back in the day, and he's winning games. That's the best part. And then leading into the bullpen has just been phenomenal too.
Well, I'm glad they made the move. They got rid of Maeda, right? Kenta Maeda.
Did they finally get rid of him? I know I saw him in there the other day.
Yeah, they dropped him.
Gone now?
Did
they?
What do they call it? Designated for assignment. Yeah. It's like I don't really know the whole details on what that means.
Holy cow, his ERA is like 8.
Oh yeah. Well, he was a good. He pitched for the Twins back in the day, like maybe a handful of years ago. He always played pretty well, but he's one of those guys that he's an older guy and he's a little more of kind of a craftier pitcher, right? I always think of like Kenny Rogers back in the day.
He's still younger than me, by the way.
Yeah. That says nothing. But he just has to. He's not like the Will Vest, right? That can just get up there and blow it right by you. And so when those guys kind of aren't hitting their spots, they'll get tattooed. And Maeda has been getting tattooed, so I am kind of happy to hear that he
kind of struggled the end of last year too. I feel like
he did. It's been a couple of years. He was a starter for us when he came over. I think it was the beginning of last year. They actually had him as a starter, and clearly that didn't work. He's just hasn't been it.
His ERA last year was 6.09. That's just not good.
He hasn't had it for a while.
Yeah, I want to say if we're talking about ERAs, we can go over and look at the Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has, it's like 1.06.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'll pull that up.
I mean, how many starts?
I think he is their starting pitcher, maybe.
We'll pull it up here. Emery is a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I'm not as good. I just like Shohei Ohtani.
That's fair. So how miserable does that to be an Angels fan, huh? Like, not only are you the worst team in LA, but you're all-star Ohtani, your entire franchise just decides to go over.
I don't know.
Yeah.
His ERA is 0.9.
No, it's not too bad.
His win-loss record is 4-2.
He started 7 games. I mean, that's incredible, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say I was having innings pitched, but I mean that if he started 7 games, that's
Let's see him carry that
pitched,
through this season. 40 innings pitched.
That's really good.
Yeah,
really good.
This guy's gonna have like multiple.
Really good.
He's only had 2 home runs hit off of him.
Not too shabby.
And let it 20.
Hey man, when you can buy a team, they're going to be good. What can I say?
Well, the best in the world too.
Yeah.
Let's go find the best pitchers in the world.
Yeah, and I can't wait till Shohei comes back.
I'm excited.
And so what? He gets hurt again? I feel like he's always out now.
No, he's a beast. But when he's playing,
he only has 8 home runs. That's not very good.
more home runs than you have.
Yeah, look at how many games he's played though, because that makes a difference, right? Like 8 homers in 10 games, pretty good. 8 homers in 40 games, maybe not.
Yeah, 32. Torque.
Yeah, so
Torque's got more. We have a Spencer Torkelson. He's better than Shoei.
Yeah, he's 10-35, so he has 3 more games played.
So we got another comment from my mother.
Number 17.
She was asking who made history this past week.
Wait,
The 2 home runs in the 9th.
Oh, Riley Green.
Yeah,
Riley Green.
And Emery had a hot take.
I can't believe the first time.
No.
We're gonna bring this up.
No.
Emery had a hot take on Riley Green.
I had said before he had gotten hot, before the Tigers had gotten hot, I had said he's a tad bit overrated.
It was too early to make that call, though.
He's just
It was.
everyone.
It was.
Now I take that back now, but he's just.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's easy to take it back.
The hype is their hype. They hyped him up so much, and he didn't even have 20 home runs last year.
He's got 21 RBIs this year, which is really good.
Yeah, he just hits the ball so hard. Like that's the thing. Like home runs are nice. Don't get me wrong. I love the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball, right? Isn't that the saying? But I'll take a guy who smokes. He has an exit velo of like over 100 miles per hour every single hit, and so even when he's getting out, he's just creaming the ball. And I know he had a super cold start, but you just like. I don't know, this is going to sound weird, but some guys, especially in baseball, because it's such like a rhythmic sport, you look at some guys and you're like, you can play. Like I get the same feeling with Javi Baez, right? Like I see him and he's just like so smooth out there. And I kind of feel that way with Riley Green. Like those kind of guys, of course, they're going to go in slumps. And all baseball players are going to go in slumps. But guys like that seem to find their way out quicker than maybe your traditional players. So I agree. And I could understand why you'd say that. But he's too good. I mean, he was an all-star last year. I mean, so he can't be that bad.
Yeah, he's good. I will say he's good, but
let's look at his stats from last year here.
Or I guess he had. Okay, so I guess he had his MLB career. He's only had that many runs.
Here was his average last year.
2.62. So it's pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah. With an on-base
Well, it's funny
percentage
because I
of
remember when
348.
when I was growing up, I remember growing up, yeah, when I back in my day, I remember like if you could hit like 300, like that was like the difference between like a good player and like an average player. I feel like that's gone down. I don't know. It feels like
The
the
pitchers are
300
better, right?
like is not. Yeah, yeah, they are, and and I don't know if I'm sure that's a big thing to do with it, but like when I heard the other day that the average like for the league is 250 or right around that, I was like, really? I always thought 250 was kind of low, but apparently not. So 262, that's pretty good.
Yeah, mid to upper 200s is good, and even anything in the 200s
Yeah.
is decent. When you drop below 200, that's when it's like, all right,
Yeah, that's
something's
what
wrong.
they call it. The Mendoza line, I think is what that's called. Yeah, there's another trivia for you right there.
So, I mean,
The Mendoza
he had
line.
24 home runs last year.
Like Colt Keith is at 190.
Cole Keith. I don't know.
Malloy's 172.
His errors, like, when he errors it, like, they're not, like, bad errors. They're, like, terrible errors. Like that
Who's that?
Colt Keith.
Cole Keith. Okay.
Like that one where
He had a good. Yeah.
he like got the ball and like didn't know what to do with it.
When was this? Just recently?
I don't know, like a month ago or something.
Oh.
He like got it and just like held it and like looked at second. The guy's at second, didn't throw it. Then he looks at first and didn't throw it there. And then he like throws it after the runner's already on first.
Maybe he glitched out for a minute.
It happens. Yeah. No, he's definitely had a slow start. I will not argue that one bit. I mean, you can tell by his average. He got off to a super slow start. But man, he had a hit against the Astros a couple games ago. I think it was an out, but like it was like you could kind of tell it just like unlocked something. Like he hit it hard, and then it was like, ooh, okay, that didn't do anything, but like maybe it did. Like baseball's so weird with how it's like so mental and like everything like that. And so, but ever since that kind of hard out, man, he's been crushing it. And like I said, he got another home run today. And if we can throw another power bat in there, and then I think Young's going to start, like I said, coming around with some power. I mean, these home runs are going to keep going. It's awesome to see a team that they can win in so many ways. They can win in the pitcher's duel. They can win in the long ball contest, right? They can win scrappy. They're very aggressive on the bases. Benetti talks about it on the broadcast all the time about their first to third and how they're so aggressive. And I love their third base coach, Cora, down there, like waving him in. He's awesome and funny. Exactly. Yeah, he's great. So it's just they win any other any way. They come from behind. They hold leads. Yeah. Again, I know I'm drinking the Kool-Aid hard tonight, but it's just it's awesome. Awesome to have
Like
it back.
we said,
in
it's
the tray.
hard. It's really hard not to, and it's fun.
Right.
Again, I've said to Emery, it's like I love like baseball, like you mentioned, summer sport. Got it on the radio. You can listen to it in the car.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
In the garage.
That's one thing, but I just can't watch baseball or can't listen to baseball on the radio. I just can't.
Okay.
He says he has a hard time following.
Well, it's not that I have a hard time following. Like, I just like, it's like, oh yeah, this pitch is strike. Yep, and this guy's up to bat. Yep, he hits it. Yep, here. Yep, here. It's just a lot more confusing. And
I don't know.
And I'll say too, there's like a lot going on, right? So it's like you want to know, like it's kind of you kind of briefly touched on chess there, but like it's kind of the same thing, right? Like if I'm playing chess, I want to look at the board and I want to see what the board looks like. Same thing with baseball, right? Which some would say is the chess match on grass. Like with baseball, I want to know, okay, we got how many guys on do we have? Like where's the infield playing, right? Are they shifting them? Like how's it going? And there's a lot of like those nuanced details.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're listening on radio, it's a little harder to kind of follow. And I will say we're blessed to have Dan Dickerson. I think he's one of the best guys on the call. So when it comes to radio, we have one of the best, out there. But shout out Dan. Maybe my shout out can get him on your podcast.
Yeah, he's listening, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hi Dan. Big fan. But no, I do understand that there's something I mean, I'll say the bottom line is this, is that I am paying $20 for the FanDuel, whatever it's called, to watch the Tigers, which should tell you all you need to know, because if I'm that invested to watching these guys, that tells you something, because the Wings, the Pistons, none of them got me over the edge to pay the subscription to watch the regional sports, but these Tigers did it. So
yeah,
bravo to them.
Yeah, I just so talking outdoors, Michigan, summertime, being on the lake. When growing up, mom's grandparents had their cabin on the lake up north, Wolf Lake, and they had the outdoor speakers, and we'd be up north, tigers playing in the background, we're messing around on the water. What's better in Michigan?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I
No.
mean nothing at all. Maybe throw a 7:30 tea time in there just because it's sunny until 10:30 at night. But no, it really is. It's the soundtrack of so many summers growing up, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the best thing about it. Is
We
I
might have to
remember,
invest in some
where I was
outdoor
at.
speakers just for that reason.
I'd do it. I got the subscription, so if you need me to hook up the login credentials, which I'm sure you have too. So, but we're on it, man.
We're able to watch the games, but I don't know. To me, I love listening to the Tigers.
Showed us.
Like hockey. Hockey's hard to
Dickerson's
watch.
one of the best.
Or hockey you can listen to. But
Funny thing with that. So I was at the Hockey Hall of Fame. This is way back, and like they have this one. At least they used to. They have this one like little section where you can like be an announcer, right? And so like there's a game going, and like you're sitting there announcing the game. Hardest thing I've
Super
ever had
hard.
to do. Like the way it moves so fast. Oh, go over here, and to like be able to know like, oh, they have it, and then they have it. Like it's so hard. So props to all the hockey like announcers because like man, that moves fast.
Yeah, I've done the same thing before, and they make it look really easy. We get comment coming in here from my mom. She said my mom always had the Tigers on the radio. They were only televised on Sundays back then. And then Mel says I was lucky enough to have Ernie Harwell, which I do remember him too, and his distinct accent, voice. But yeah, I think you mentioned a minute ago was arguably we have the best in the country, and I think that goes across all sports. I mean, you can listen to the Lions on the radio, great play-by-play, even the Red
Dan
Wings.
Miller's the man. Yeah.
Like there's something about it. Like, I mean, maybe it's because that's what we grew up with, but I mean, I've listened to Lions, Wings, Tigers, Pistons. Basketball is a little bit different on the radio, but. I mean, it's the same, but we've got some incredible play-by-play guys.
Basketball on the radio is kind of like watching it. Like, there's not, like, much more to it, kind of.
I'm trying to gear Emery up into... I think he could be a play-by-play or color commentary guy when he grows up.
Okay.
No?
I mean, I think just be the podcaster. Why do you even need to swim out? You got it figured out. You're good to go. You're the sports kid.
He's the sports kid. But yeah, no, it's good. We Tigers. We kind of talked a lot about Tigers, and again, the show is mostly about the Tigers. Do we want to touch on the Pistons? I mean, again,
we can.
It's been. The podcast has been interesting. So like our very first episode was talking about the Lions playoff loss.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had these roller coaster ride, that we've been on. So like, and it started off down because I think I was talking to Mike the other day about it is when we started the podcast, the idea was like, the goal was like to ride the Lions towards the Super Bowl. And so we thought we had a few weeks or whatever, and then they lost. And
I remember they lost, and then we watched the college football national championship. And then I was like, let's just wait for this to happen. And then we'll have more stuff to talk about, and then we'll start it.
But see, in the highs and the lows, there's always something to talk about.
Yeah, that was like the lowest of the lows. Because like the Lions lost, and then Ohio State won the national championship.
Yeah.
So
it was rough. Yeah.
Can't really.
So we started out kind of low, and then, but we were
very,
able to,
very.
Carry it with the, we talk about the Wings and the Pistons and I mean, honestly, this Pistons team is different. I mean, they were fun to watch, and I mean, I give it up for the Knicks. I know people aren't big fans of Brunson, maybe, but dude, the guy can ball.
Flopper himself.
Yeah, I mean, he could flop, but
Ref baiter.
But the dude, I said it this morning, came up
He plays the
clutch.
game. I mean, yeah. Oh, he did. He did that 3-pointer. I mean, yeah. I'm not. He put it up there, and you knew it was going down. That's the thing. And they talked the entire series about how clutch he was, and how he's like when it comes to the last whatever amount of time, like he's like ranked first and everything. So, and there's something to be said, and there's definitely a big respect for that. To be able to play your best when the most is on the line. I think you got to give respect for that. You do. And the flopping, we do it too, right? Like, I think anyone who gets super hung up on that, it's like it goes both ways. I mean, maybe was he a little more sure, but like at the end of the day, and I didn't watch the entire series of the Pistons, but there were times where, like, at the end of Game 6, Beasley, you got to get that shot off, man. You can't have that ball go off your hands out of bounds, like not even have a chance. Like,
even if he wouldn't have made
kind of
it,
a hard
like
way.
it just.
Yep.
Exactly. It gives you at least the moment of like, oh, but we didn't even get that. But you know what? I do think, and I will be upfront here, for all your viewers, basketball is definitely on my lowest list of expertise, but it does feel like this kind of run will be good for them. Like this playoff run will be good for them in the future. I think you kind of see that with the Tigers, right? You saw their little playoff run last year that they had. Now, granted, a little more successful in that they won a series, but you get that experience of like those really high stake games. And I think that's really, really good, especially for young teams. And we can agree that the Pistons and the Tigers are both very, very young teams. And you can already see in the Tigers this year how much more confident they look. And I guarantee that has something to do with the fact that they played in big games last year. So as much as it was a heartbreaking loss, I thought the team showed a lot of resiliency to win that Game 5 in New York, in that environment, to take that with your backs against the wall. I think JB Bickerstaff is a great coach. I think he's for sure should be coach of the year. I do wish that he would maybe lay off the refs a little bit. I think he sometimes gets a little too, cries foul every time, but that's just part of the intensity of the game. That's whatever. And you talk about the announcers, Bobby, but I think too, we also, when we look at the nucleus of coaches, have 4 really good coaches here in Detroit as well. I mean, obviously Dan Campbell, I think is the GOAT. But even, looking at what AJ Hinch has done with the Tigers and what, Bickerstaff has done, and even, what's his name for the Wings coming on, and they didn't make the playoffs and kind of sputtered down the stretch, but they definitely McLennan had them playing pretty good. Yeah, had him playing pretty good.
Well, who's the Michigan's basketball coach? Dusty May.
Yeah.
Dusty
May. Yeah, he had a great year this year too. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot to be said about the coaching. The Pistons we talked about it last week again. They were terrible last year. I mean, absolutely laughable.
They literally had the record for the most amount of losses
in a row, right?
No, in NBA history.
And in a row, right? Because wasn't it like 21 losses
sure they go
in
hand
a
in
row?
hand.
Something, yeah.
But I want to talk about a couple things first. So, how you're talking about commentators, people are not the biggest fan of Tom Brady. They think he's a way better player than he is a commentator. But I mean, he's kind of always talking about himself, but like, kind of what he's there for. But I will say the Pistons that last game, like Malik Beasley definitely, like you can't just make it roll off your hands kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
He was looking towards the shot before he caught the ball. I mean, that's like, and again,
101.
benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I mean, we're not in that moment, but it is 101, right? Like, catch the ball first, just like in football. Like,
a little bit.
I mean, I get it. The moment's big, but when you get paid to play a sport, you got to make that play. I mean, and he'll tell you the same thing. I don't think he would.
Nobody's going to argue that.
And then we could not contain Karl Anthony Towns either. And we were talking.
Not many people can.
I was talking
to
Zach, who's been on the podcast before this morning at church, and he was like, the way he shoots is the weirdest thing ever. Because he's 7 foot, he doesn't even jump, and it's just like bullets, and it's just like.
And he makes it.
Yeah.
And he makes it. It's so infuriating.
Doesn't even need the backboard. It's just like.
Was he the guy shooting the threes?
Yeah, the very tall guy.
It's like the trajectory of that ball.
There's no air. It's just like.
And it hits the back of the net. Like, I don't even know how he does it, but
Yeah. And that's tough to guard. You don't really have a guy who's that size that can come out in the perimeter and guard
was he the
a
one that,
7-footer that's popping threes.
yeah, was he the one that shot that like three with Cade in his face?
No.
Who
That was OG Anunoby, I'm pretty sure.
okay. Yeah, like that
He
one.
had a good series too, at least a couple games.
Well, yeah,
He was
Cade was like-
he was a
Like
thorn.
Cade was
Cade-
right in his face.
Cade
and-
was not, honestly, I would say he was not doing the best defense. Because he was in his face, which is like all you can really do because you can't really touch him. But then he was just like making him a wide open area where he could just shoot.
But
kinda.
he took a step back and drained that three.
It was
like,
weird. Because he would just like, give him a wide open area and he just took the opportunity and just drained it.
one thing you
Yeah,
mentioned, like Pistons are kind of low on your knowledge base. And like when we started the podcast, the one thing that
We have literally talked about we will never talk about the Pistons.
yeah, we both kind of we're like, we're not ever talking about the Pistons, not to talk about, but they
Yeah.
came alive. We had a special episode
Isn't
where
that
Emery
funny how
joined
when
the
a team
bandwagon.
wins, it doesn't when a team wins, it doesn't matter. Like winning cures all else. Like even baseball, as much as I've said on here, I've talked about the Tigers for an hour now. And I love the team, I do, but like the last 2-3 years, I don't know who's on the team. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's just like when they start winning and you put out a good product, like I love hockey, but like I couldn't really name most of the Red Wings, to be honest with you, because they haven't put out a good product,
Right.
and like winning will get you to talk about the team. And the Pistons are a perfect example of that. Look at the LCA, like how bumping it was down there, just for these playoff games. Like
Yep.
the city will come down. You put a winning product out there, the city will support it, and they will. I mean, Tigers last year, same idea. Crazy to see the difference. And I mean, you guys know you went to some games last year. The beginning of last year, I'm sure there were probably a lot of empty seats. And that was not the case towards the end of the year. And so winning, even though, like I said, I talked about Pistons are kind of lower on my priority, I was watching the playoff games. I was, even my wife came downstairs and was like, we're watching the Pistons now. I'm like, yeah, they're in the playoffs. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
I will say, after the Cleveland win, going down like the tunnel, like going out, the entire stadium was chanting Jared Goff.
Oh, after the Tigers game.
Yeah, after they had won,
Yeah.
the entire stadium was chanting Jared Goff.
Yeah, the $1 million question this year is, and we have a golf chant audio drop here on the board, but will people resurrect the golf chant, or is that kind of
Yeah.
in the past?
I just wish, I'm whatever, you do it, you want to do it. But like, why we got to do it at other events? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, it's not the Lions game. Like, I get it. It's like a Detroit thing more than that. But like, I don't know. I'm like, people doing it in supermarkets and stuff. I'm like, I guess, I just,
But people were
I don't
hyped.
know.
It was a
It-
good product.
people were hyped.
Back to your point, people were buying it. They were
Exactly.
repping it, eating it
Exactly.
up, loving it.
Yep. And now you look at the Jared Goff kind of fanfare in the city, and people are, I mean, they're definitely still in this corner, I would say, no doubt. But I think, compared to this time last year, people are like, hey man, like I mean, let's be honest, he played like total dirt in that Commanders game. He did. He did not play well. And there were a couple games throughout the year where he didn't play. Like the Texans game, I think was a great example with 5 interceptions. Like he a couple times like cost us those games. And I don't know. I think he's still great. I think, he can, but it'll be very interesting this year to see how he does post Ben Johnson. And to see like how much of that was Ben Johnson calling plays specifically for Goff that, put him in positions to succeed. Now Goff still has to throw the ball, right? So it's like, I'm not saying that he's still the same quarterback, but let's see how he does now that things are kind of shaking up a little bit here. And he doesn't have his buddy Ben. And in fact, now Ben is on is in the division, the traitor. And now you got a team that you play twice a year that knows your tendencies. And so I don't know, man. The Lions, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place here, but the Lions, they, I don't want to say they worry me because they don't. I don't think we're going to win 15 games again. I don't really want to win 15 games again, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I do, but like, I don't in the fact that like, I feel like last year we were just like, we almost expected it, where it's like the previous year where we made it to the conference championship. It was like, it felt so much more like you were just like holding on to every moment. I don't know. It felt different. Do you agree with me on that one compared to last year?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, because like last year it was like, oh, the Lions are gonna win this game kind of thing. It's like, oh, they're playing
Yeah.
this team. They're terrible. We're gonna win. It was like when we played what was it? Jacksonville or something. We won like 52-7. It's just like those kind of games are like a gimme kind of. Where like the year before,
I was
or the year before, it was like every game. It was like, are they gonna win this one or are they not?
Yeah.
And then we were actually in Florida when they were playing Tampa, but it was in Detroit. But anyways, we were walking around wearing our Detroit jerseys in the Tampa airport, just like loaded with Buccaneers stuff. We look like, I don't know, and it was like a different kind of thing. It was like last year
we had to kind of earn it because the season before, I mean, we came close. Didn't get there, but there was so much hype at the end of that season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Aaron Rodgers,
Yep.
And we traded Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, but that's fine.
Yeah. But Jamal Williams, I honestly think like he was the guy. There's been different memes and arguments about Jamal Williams, how he was kind of the guy that like flipped the switch for Detroit because he just brought this different level of hype, kind of like he was a funny dude, whatever. And then he was just here for his little period of time, and then they sent him packing, and then after that, they carried the torch. But they had to earn it. The back to your point is, like, it's good to lose. Emory's team last year, baseball, undefeated. Was that cool? Sure. I kept saying, I hope they lose.
I would have rather been in the other team's situation, have lost more games. Like when they didn't matter, kind of, and then would have won the championship. Because like,
I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I remember like growing up, it's the same exact thing. You lose that, and you want it that much more next time. I think about even a little bit of hockey talk here. Same thing with the Panthers last year, right? They won the Stanley Cup, the Florida Panthers. The year before, they had lost. I believe they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and they lost. And so, like, that was the same exact thing. Like, you just get so close to tasting it, and you hunger for more. And that's why, again, the Tigers, they're playing with a completely different edge this year than they did last year. I think a lot of that has to do with their postseason run last year. Pistons, I think you're going to notice it. Same thing next year, right? Like, they're going to come out and they're going to now. It can go one of two ways, right? You can either go, the way where you learn and you thirst for more, or you can kind of go the Lions way, right? Like the Lions should have been the same thing. They were one half of football away from the Super Bowl, like playing in the Super Bowl. They should have been in the Super Bowl. There's no way they should have blew that lead against San Francisco. And I think they came into it, and I don't, no doubt in my mind that they were hungry for it. But at the same time, again, success sometimes can breed complacency, and when you just win and win and win, sometimes you kind of lose that edge a little bit. I remember when I was growing up, I played flag football, back in Sterling Heights days, and my team, the Bengals, we played for 3 years, only lost one game, and won the, and it was just that one game though. I took more out of that one game, that one loss, than all of the other 3 years worth of wins, right? Because there's something about, and I know we've kind of touched on it, but chess is kind of the same idea, right? Like when you play those games and you lose, there's almost that angst in you to be like, I want to play again. I want to get me back out there, coach, kind of thing. And it can work, it can work both ways, but I think you have the people around, the Pistons organization and the Tigers organization, really all the organizations minus the Red Wings, Stevie Y, kind of on the hot seat, that, I think they all have really good, strong coaching staff and a solid kind of front office, right? And so, willing to make the moves, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it all depends on how you kind of tailor it. But I do think that losing is important for a lot of reasons, but one, just to humble you. And who knows, maybe the Lions losing the way they did was the best thing that could have happened to them last year for this year. You don't know. You have to lose, exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Yep. You have to lose to know how good it is to win. And we said last year, baseball wise, I kept saying to the other coaches, like, I kind of wish they would lose because, like they didn't. And then they had to learn how to lose in the championship game, which is not
that ain't fun. It's not when you want that lesson to be learned. No.
Yeah, I think the Pistons will be have a little chip on their shoulder next year, and hopefully,
And I don't know much about basketball, but I think like from the Eastern Conference, isn't that kind of weak? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't talk about things I don't know, but it seems like they didn't really seem all that competitive. So who knows? Maybe they have
look at
the windows open here.
how'd the Lakers do?
They got smoked.
So bought the best team money can buy, basically, and
yeah, they lost 4-1. Did you see what Anthony Edwards is doing after the game? He went around the court, and can you look up what number he is? 'Cause I don't know.
there was some stat too, real quick, while I'm doing this, is that the Pistons' salary compared to like some of these other teams.
Pretty sure it's like Edwards. Pretty sure it's like 20 or something, but I don't know. But anyways, he was 1. Okay. Well, anyways, he was walking around after the game, walking around like the court and giving high fives to all the Lakers fans and said, "I beat the Lakers in 5. I beat the Lakers in 5." He just kept saying it and did like 3 laps around, and it was just to like
Basketball players are kind of petty, man. I tell you what, they definitely have a little bit of a sass to them. It seems more than other athletes. I mean, every sport has their sassy athletes, for lack of a better term. But it seems like the basketball, you get them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, but LeBron's coming back again next year, so no one likes LeBron.
Okay.
But yeah.
So the Detroit is, just to follow up what I was saying, Detroit is last in the NBA salary wise.
Last?
How do you guys feel about them bringing, say, someone like a KD over this year, for next year?
Kate, is that actually like a rumor?
I mean, I don't know. I've heard a little bit on sports talk radio. I know Phoenix has got to get rid of him. I do know that. They're not going to be paying him, and it's kind of like you just said. The Pistons have nothing but money, so it was kind of floated around.
Who was the one
I'm
you
sure
were
they're not just going
mentioning?
to give him away.
There was Giannis. Might.
Yeah, I've heard Giannis too. Yeah.
If would they trade Jalen Duren for Giannis? Or it was like Jalen Duren.
You would have to.
Jalen Duren and like a first round draft pick or something like that. Would they trade that? Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, that in a heartbeat. You'd probably have to do a couple of first ones. I know the NBA draft's a little different because there's only a couple compared to like the NFL draft, right?
Yeah, it's just weird.
Emery's a big Giannis fan, by the way.
And I'm not a big Giannis fan. I just like it.
We went to a Pistons game last month. Emery's wearing his Giannis jersey because we went and it was against the Bucks.
Yeah, and I did buy a Cade Cunningham jersey and I switched it out there, but I would like it was like
Giannis is good though. Watching him in person and seeing how big this guy's arms are. We looked it up. His wingspan is like
7'5".
Yeah, it's some crazy wingspan.
Crazy.
And seeing him just
it's weird.
Stretch Armstrong.
Like when he's defending you, he's just like
he blocks half the court almost with his arms.
Nothing you can do.
If they got him,
he's like wrapping his arms around you just to like grab the ball, and he's just like
yeah.
Reminds you of the first Space Jam, right? The Michael Jordan, at the end of it, where he just stretches out and Doug. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how he is.
Yeah, no, Giannis would be cool. Giannis would be cool. I again, you're gonna have to give up a lot, and it's like I don't know if some of these older guys, like KD, especially, like I don't know, like everywhere KD's gone, I feel like is kind of not really panned out. So it's like it's kind of the one common denominator, And KD's kind of been known to be like kind of super diva, right? And like really kind of like a locker room like cancer kind of guy. So I don't know if I really want him here.
Giannis is like the opposite kind of.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I would definitely want more of a Giannis. I would also think that'd be a higher price. Okay.
Another one would be like Devin Booker from Phoenix.
Yeah.
But like
he's
their franchise though. Like I don't think we would get that. But I mean,
No, he's locked into a long-term deal too. So if you're gonna get him, you're gonna get him with a lot of years left. Whereas like a KD is gonna be a 1 year, right? So you can get maybe a little cheaper. So yeah, Booker would be nice. It would be really nice. But also too, like I was listening to Sports Talk a little bit on this. Like they didn't have Ivy, and so like there is an argument to be made that like, hey, just get healthy and play the team you have, right? Instead of just shipping everyone off for maybe one guy, which maybe, but they do have a lot of money and a lot of cap space left, so they definitely can make the splash. It's just a matter of does someone want to come here and kind of be? They would have to kind of be second fiddle, because it's kind of Cade's team, I would say, at least from what I can gather. So like, it's hard to convince a KD or a Giannis, like, hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe.
yeah, I'd say if Giannis comes in, it'd be like he'd kind of like take over the show kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then like the hype behind it would just be massive. Because he's like an NBA in a whole franchise player kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's probably like he's like a staple, you could say, of the NBA kind of thing. At least nowadays.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like SGA, but
Emery's an SGA fan too.
no.
Emery likes all the big name guys, which is that's cool. All right, well we're at like
why they're big name guys.
9:00 here, a little over an hour and 15 minutes. Anything else you want to touch on?
Oh, I think we talked about everything.
Yeah.
I will say before we go, I wanted to lay this trivia out for you and whoever watches this. How many days has it been since we briefly touched on Michigan, Ohio State? How many days has it been since Ohio State has beaten Michigan? Any ideas in football, of course?
Probably,
any ideas of how many days?
Like I don't know, like probably
days.
like.
So it's been a couple years, So any guesses for either of you guys? It's I love this stat. It's my favorite.
Like 1,200, probably.
1,200. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was something in the 12, like in the thousands for sure.
I don't know, like 12, 9. I don't even know. 1,280.
1,280. Okay, Bobby, what do you think? What's your guess?
Honestly, I was thinking about in the same area, but it might be upwards of like 1,400.
1,982 days since almost 2,000 days since the Ohio State University has beaten the Michigan Wolverines. So fun stat there. There's literally a website devoted to it. It's called How Many Days Since OSU Has Beaten Michigan.com, and it has a running ticker if you ever are curious as to what the total is. So
that's awesome.
That's my gift to you.
And they signed their head coach again, so it's going to be another 6 years.
Oh, I love it. And Chip Kelly's gone, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some. I don't know. We don't want to rush through summer, but the other day, something came up with college football. I'm like, man, something about the fall. I mean, I'm into hunting, so get to hunt. There's college football. I don't know, NFL. But yeah, let's just enjoy.
But hey, you know what? We got a summer
Tigers.
full of some Tigers, right? Let's
and hopefully
some fall.
Yeah, hopefully some fall ball.
It's true. That's the bet to me. If you look on the calendar year, what's your favorite time of the year for sports?
Fall.
Like that September, October, especially. Yeah, if your baseball team's in it, you got them in the playoffs. You got NFL, college football starting off. Usually, hockey and basketball are kind of trailing pretty close behind there, right around that time. So, fall's great for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, that's all we got. Appreciate you joining us. And
thanks for having me, guys. This was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Definitely know your Tigers talk, so we'll have you on again. And anything you want to say to him?
Just thanks for coming on and sharing all your knowledge about the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure, and like I said, always happy to come on, whether it be talk some sports, beat Bobby in chess for the 26th time, whatever it is. Happy to do it. So
Yeah, just for the record, I have beat you 9 times. And I'm
Yeah, well,
1-0,
it's 25. So.
1-0 in person, so that's all that matters.
Okay. All right, well,
but thanks for coming on. Hey,
let's cut it.
yeah, let's just cut it right there.
Oh, you can censor.
Yeah, I do have the. Hold on a second. Where's that?
Yeah,
I should have
exactly.
beeped you out when you're talking about. But yeah, stay in the green room on the back side of this. I'm gonna boot you out of this, but then we'll connect again in just a minute. Cool. So thanks a lot,
Sounds
Mike.
Good. Thanks for coming.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have fun?
Yeah. I don't think I might have talked to Mike at that kind of, like when they would like come over to our house, kind of like when we would eat.
Yeah.
We talked about sports, but I don't think we've like talked that briefly kind of thing.
That in depth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike knows his stuff, so that was cool to have him on. We just came up a couple days ago. I was like, hey, I think maybe he mentioned it to me or whatever. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So it worked out. Couple comments. Tom Welch said, great show today, boys. Thanks, sir. Pa asked, isn't hunting morels a sport?
Depends. If you find a lot of them, it's a sport.
Yeah, we have to actually try it. We need to try doing.
We've never actually like fully gone.
Yeah, we need to do that. And my mom said, great show, great conversation tonight. I think so too. Emery's getting tired. He is yawning.
No, I'm not.
He's sucking air here in the studio.
I'm not tired.
So we got baseball tomorrow night, big game. Emery's Dodgers against the Diamondbacks, the undefeated Diamondbacks. But yeah, that's really it. We'll be back live next Sunday, same time, roughly, same place. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Any last words, or should we close her down?
Peace.
Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed week. See you.
This has been the Sports Kid Podcast with Emery Root and special guest Mike Muscat.
See ya next week.